Everyone, in this video we're going to be looking at adding LEDs to model cars. Now, if you saw my lighting update video I did yesterday, you will see that I said that I started to light up my cars. So in this video I'm going to be showing how I did that and a very easy way to do so. Now to start, what you'll need is a regular screwdriver right here, and underneath these cars. Now the cars I'm using are so at Giant they're just pull bag cars, and they work really well for O scale because they're the exact same size and they're pretty cheap too. They're a lot cheaper than the Woodland Scenics cars, and you'll find two screws underneath these cars, just Phillips screws. We're gonna go ahead and remove those. And when you're done, you'll see the inside of the car. Let's remove the seat here, and also the inside the door, but that's already moved. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this aside. Make sure you do not lose the screws, as I've done before. It takes a while. I had to glue the other one in. Put the screws over here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a drill bit. Now this drill bit is 1/16 size drill bit in our drill here, and what we're going to be doing is we're just going to go ahead and drill a hole into the front headlights of our vehicle. Same goes for cars. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on a piece of tape or something, hold it steady, and then I just go ahead and drill. I found this size works well for micro LEDs. The size drill bit I'm using works well for micro LEDs. It worked just enough. Just enough power that just enough width that it lets the LED come in, and they usually fit very snugly afterwards. So here we go. Here are the two holes drilled in the front headlights. I saved the headlight socket that came with it because I'll still use that. I'll just slide them in like this, so then there won't be a huge red gaping hole there. And then we're going to do the same for the back, except on my truck the headlights are a little out. So what we're going to do, instead of drilling a hole, is if you have a thing like this, is that the headlights are removable, or the rear bumper is removable. We're going to remove that rear bumper that has the two headlight holes drilled on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to just run the LEDs through the crack in the hole. So here's a little crack there, as you can see that. Now what we're going to do is I have some LEDs here. These ones are on the Powerful brand from Amazon. There's a link to that in the description. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to take our headlight socket here, the socket that used to be inside the headlight over here. Here it is. The socket that used to be in here. I'm going to dab some modeler's glue on it and place it inside in the headlight housing. Right there. I'm going to take a dab of glue there too, and dab it in there to make sure it stays. And then we're going to run our micro LED through this color. The color I'm using is a white micro LED. I'm just going to take that little fiddly to get in there. There we go. Just going to run it through. They're being very careful because these things do have a tendency to fall out. I'm just going to hold it there for a while. I'm also going to put a little bit more modeler's glue on it. There we go. And I'm going to let that dry for about 15 minutes. While the front LEDs are drying, I'm going to go ahead and take our red LEDs, same brand as before. We're going to bend them a little bit, and we're going to have our bumper here. We're going to replace the bumper into its socket there. Slide that in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our red LED and we're just going to slide it in there so that it's just sticking over the barrier there. Right there, we're just going to slide it out to make it look like it was always there. So here we have our, it's really small, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's right there. And we're just going to add a dab of glue in there so that the LED is fixed there for a while. I may want to remove it at some point if it burns out or something, which LEDs usually do not, but just in case. And I'm going to repeat the same process for the other side. So here you can see the LED is in there, right there. So what I've done is I've taken some 24 gauge wire. I have a red one and a black one. A thin wire I purchased online. And what we're going to do is we're going to take all of the positive LED wires here. Sorry, my hand's in the way. But we're just going to go, basically what I'm doing is I'm just attaching all the positive LED wires to the positive 24 gauge wire I have here. All the positives in one area and all the negatives to a black wire. So that instead of having all these small wires running out of the car, the truck, or your vehicle, we'll just have one wire that connects to your whole power source or whatever you're powering with. In this case, I'm using a 9-volt battery, so I have a resistor on that. But let's not get into that. But so what I'm basically doing is I'm just going to attach all the positive LED wires to a positive wire. Now after I finish connecting the positive and negative wires, I go ahead and solder them together using a soldering gun. After the connections are finished, I cover up each piece with some electrical tape. I also test to make sure everything is soldered correctly. After testing the wires, I prepare to put the chassis back onto the frame of the car. Using some glue, I'm just going to go ahead, glue down the seats. And I also tuck the wires in to make sure that they will not move. I also drill a small hole in the chassis for the wires to come out. Next, I begin to place the chassis back on the car and run the wires out of the hole I made before. And I just do one wire at a time, and pretty soon, and gently pull them out of the chassis. Chassis of the car. And I also replaced the screws that I removed earlier by just screwing them into position. I do one final test to make sure everything is working fine after replacing the chassis. And finding it is, I'm going to go and put this on my layout. I mark the section where I mark the spot where the truck will be sitting, and I drill a hole using a 532 drill bit. I next feed the wires down into the hole, one at a time, and pick them up underneath the layout. As you can see, it really adds a nice perspective to your layout, nice realism amount by adding lights to your model cars. It really makes it more hero diorama or trim layout or model more realistic. Even if you aren't adding it in the train layout, it really helps to bring out the realism, as I said before. And it just looks cool looking. It's very easy to do. Almost anyone could do this with the right tools, and I think that it looks pretty cool when it's done. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you want others to see this video, like it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching.